So I would just say, find Jesus.
You were on RuPaul's Drag Race Season 5. How do you identify?
I identify as a...
Was there ever a point when you were thinking about transitioning?
I pause them. Come here, come with me. So much on my mind. I mean, being representative for Polish queer people it's
For the first time.
for the first time. It's a huge thing because people don't really know us. They only see us as homophobic country, and that's it. I think through my entry to the competition, so much has changed. I see in Poland. A lot of people deny it, but I can see a lot. I mean, it's been 2 years, but there has been at least less than 50 drag queens in Poland. Now there's hundreds of drag queens. Obviously, Polish drag is very political, but they just,
I was gonna say that the Polish drag is very polished. Does RuPaul Drag Race have any dark side? Did you ever have gender dysphoria?
And that's an issue. I never really looked at me and said, "Oh, I really hate it."
6-7 years ago, I remember really the first time hearing the phrase LGBTQ plus free zone.
Yeah. The last LGBT-free zone has been closed down. So we are moving forward.
Everyone has the privilege to
Yeah,
have
very
LGBTQ plus friends.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's really cool because I think we teach people so much and we inspire people through our resilience and strength.
Sometimes when you might not be doing something, I realize how I get not depressed, but put down when I see a lot of people doing some stuff. You know what I mean?
And you
I'm
don't.
like, oh, I'm not doing anything. But you have to remember what you've done, where you come from, how many things you have achieved. You know?
Yeah.
As I said, people are ignorant and people are hatred towards it because they don't understand it. It's not in their life. So if somebody's gonna hate me, I'm just gonna ignore that person. Just like let them hate. Because there's nothing worse in your life than living with a hate in your heart and just hating somebody. So like good luck with that, I would say. And I know it sometimes seems a bit like we're doing so much, we're always fighting for our rights, but it's because you have no idea what we have to go through. And a lot of people, all this dramas for nothing's happening. It's because you don't live a life, so you don't know how it's like to go outside,
deal with hate on a daily basis.
So for you it doesn't exist. You know, when I went to the Polish TV and they were like, oh, hate doesn't exist, you don't know that because you're not in our skin, you know.
Exactly. Hello everyone, welcome back to Trans Crash, the podcast where every single Thursday we dive deep into lives, stories and experiences of trans women. I'm your host Pevi, and I'm so excited that you are watching, you are streaming, you are listening, wherever you are. It means so much to me, especially now in the beginning where we just getting started. Our episode today is very special because our guest today is Alexis Saint Pete, who is Polish drag queen and also famous from RuPaul's Drag Race UK Season 5. And I'm so glad that she is here in the studio with us today. Hi Alexis, welcome to Trans Crash.
Hi everybody, thank you for having me. You're so good at it. It was literally like 2 takes max. If that was me, I'd be like, hi everybody. Okay. Hi everybody. Hi everyone. That's literally me every time I do my videos.
Thank you so much again for being here. It means a lot.
Thank you for having me.
Right, let's start with question what makes you happy. So what makes you happy?
What makes me happy? Oh my god. Being around people that I care, people that care about me, genuine connections. I'm not anymore about pleasing random people or pleasing the random situation. It's all about good vibes. If I am welcome at the place, if I'm not welcome, I'm not there. So yeah, being surrounded by best friends in a countryside with cow shit around me.
I know you moved to countryside right now. How is the difference between London and the countryside?
Well, originally I come from a countryside, so I grew up by having fun with piglets and just chasing chickens. I know it might seem a little bit crazy. And I've always wanted to move into big city, but I didn't realize how much of a comfort zone I had in just by not being around anybody. I love the freedom. I love that I'm not being watched 24 hours, that I don't have many choices really. I'm not being distracted by people. I'm not being distracted by places. I just can fully focus on myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you identify?
I identify as a man.
Mm-hmm.
I know. But, and my pronouns are he, his.
Mm-hmm.
In drag, I would say she, hers. Only because I'm serving, pussy. I think it's only, the right thing.
Um, so, there are people who are watching right now, and some people still don't know the difference between drag queen, transgender woman. Can you tell us what's the difference between, if let's say, I don't know, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Can you tell us what's the difference between drag queen and transgender woman?
Well, being a drag queen is an art form, and being a trans person is a lifestyle. It's something that you've chosen to live by every single day. Wake up, and this is your life. This is serious. Where being a drag queen is just an art, right? You anybody can be a drag queen. Like a cis woman, cis man, a trans woman, trans man. It's something that it's embraced all over the world. It's been embraced for hundreds of years. Only now we think we just came up to the world and started, making it all crazy. But it's been for hundreds of years, and that is the biggest difference. It's a lifestyle, and
Art form.
art form. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
And I also want to say, you can be a trans woman and you can be a drag performer.
Yeah, for sure.
Because when I do my Britney shows,
Drag.
it's drag.
And drag, yeah.
Yeah, so my identity is a trans woman, but expression and, as you said, the form of art is drag.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
What I perform.
Yeah. Obviously, I know a lot of people get it confused because they don't understand it. They think, oh, you're dressing up as a woman, you must be a trans person. And for some people, don't get me wrong, some people start their journey like this and they just want to, they don't want to change straight away. They want to see if it's something that they enjoy. Like, for example, with myself, I started by just cross-dressing by going out. That's how we know each other. Oh my God, it's been, 40 years now. I've been dressing up and just going out and, enjoying the attention. And at some point in my life, I thought maybe this is the path that I should choose.
Yeah. How old were you when you first dressed up?
Oh my God. I mean, I was dressing up ever since I was like, I'm not even kidding, like 6, 7. I used to put my towel on my head, pretending it's my long hair. Just not even without makeup, because I didn't know the makeup. My mom wasn't really a makeup type of girl. But I've always been type of dressing up. I've always lived in theater, so I could always see the transformations. And I was always like wondering, what can I not do it, And I was being kind of judged for it, being a little boy and putting makeup on. Yeah. So always.
Yeah. Was there ever a point when you were thinking about transitioning?
Yeah, I think before I moved into London, I was away living in Greece for a year. And that's where I started experimenting with makeup, like a lot. But my journey was, I was really being criticized for wearing a lot of makeup, so I started doing more of it. And I even came out to my family by messaging them and say, hi, listen, I think I'm going to be doing this.
Wow.
And they said, listen, whatever makes you happy. My brother was like, well, I'm going to have an ugly sister. And everybody was very accepting. And then I came into London and I decided to move forward with it. And I was seeing a psychiatrist, right? Or who is that? Psychiatrist.
Yeah, like psychologist or like a gender specialist.
Yeah. And I feel like I've tried
so hard.
I've tried so hard. I've tried hard. I went one time. With Brandy was here, your guest. We went on a holiday, and I was like, you know what? I really want to try and see if this is something that I really want. And I only brought my female clothes with me.
Okay.
And it's definitely not something that I want. It's like I feel like it was definitely not me. It was. I did not enjoy putting on, all of these, like, it's just not something that I was looking forward to.
Yeah. Did you ever have gender dysphoria?
And that's an issue. I never really looked at me and said, "Oh, I really hate it."
I'm in a male body, but I'm a female body.
Yeah.
You never had that?
Yeah. It was always very like, I wasn't really an attractive type of twink, So ever since I started putting on makeup and putting on girly clothes, the amount of attraction I got towards me was very changing. I was like, oh my God, is this what I like? And I feel like a lot of people, it's a journey for a lot of people where people feel maybe a little bit not satisfied or like not as happy with themselves, and suddenly they become these beautiful creatures. And mostly not, but I feel like if I would have gone forward with my transition, it would have been a mistake, and that's what I always say. Don't always go straight away. Like, you really have to know it. Like, you have to know it for years and years, feeling different, feeling like you don't belong.
100%. Yeah. What was the point when you were like, okay, I'm not going to transition?
I think it was in stages. What stopped you? It was in stages. Definitely money situation, because it's expensive, and I wasn't gonna.
It's an expensive hobby.
It's very expensive, and I was gonna say, like, it's either I'm gonna go 100% for it or not at all. I'm a very sensitive person, so any type of negativity towards my way, I clap back, like, I mean, like when we go out,
I do,
and in drag, I see eyes and everything, I would not be able to deal with that. So, I'm never saying never, but I think it's for my own good. So maybe for now, I just not thinking about it, because I'd rather take care of my, good well-being, and not face it.
Yeah.
So you just never know,
You never know. Yeah. See how you go. But I was just gonna ask you. You are from Poland.
Yeah.
Right. Neighbors, yeah, Czech and Poland. So,
although you didn't vote for us on Eurovision, which I was like, none of our neighbors voted for us, even though
really
we're not supporting Eurovision, but none of them did. Yeah.
How did you end up at Eurovision, by the way?
Like 20th.
Oh, 20.
Well, we didn't
get to finals.
You know what? You know what's so funny? The person that was representing Czech Republic.
Yeah.
I used to work with him in Cuba, in London.
What?
Yeah.
Cuba?
Yeah.
Oh,
we used to work together. Yeah, we used to work together. And then he moved back home and he started singing. He went to the show, right? He did like a Got Talent.
This is crazy.
Yeah, and then he got really famous.
Okay, I had no idea. I'm not really following that. But so you're from Poland. How is the situation there right now in terms of LGBTQ plus community? Because I've seen lots of on the news, the LGBTQ-free zones, stuff like that.
Well, thankfully, the last LGBT-free zone has been closed down. Oh, so amazing. We are moving forward. I think it's slow steps, but at least there are some steps. We're not moving backwards, which that's the most important thing. And it can only get better, hopefully. But, we're always on the look, like everybody always watch us, you know what I mean? We're always everybody's problem. So we're always going to have that, Like, look what's happening now in America with everything. We all thought America is the future of everything. And now they're like 200 years behind us.
Yeah.
And it's crazy what's happening. So, but, this is something that we're going to have to get used to it. And it's not something that just suddenly appears, We're always going to have that.
How long were the LGBT-free zones there for?
Oh, I'm not really sure.
It was like a couple of years, right?
Yes, yeah.
I remember it was in the news, I think for like, I would say like 6-7 years ago. I remember really the first time hearing the phrase LGBTQ plus free zone.
Yeah.
And
which at the beginning I didn't understand what that means.
Yeah.
And then I started reading about it, I was like, surely not. Do you know what I mean? But yeah. So
you feel like now the situation in Poland is more progressive?
The situation in Poland is getting better. I wouldn't say it's much better, but we're moving forwards. And I visit Poland all the time now, like at least once per month, per 2 months for the show. And really, to be honest, a lot of the people there say it's all totally fine, but I wouldn't feel safe going outside Central. You know what I mean?
Really?
Go somewhere like in drag, for example. Like it's not the same. Like
It's a very homophobic culture.
I would say. See, I don't always jump into conclusions and judge people and say they're homophobic. They're just uneducated. They never seen creatures like us. You know what I mean?
Gorgeous creatures like us.
But it's very true. When you're unknown to something, you react certain way like, what is that?
Of course.
Do you know what I mean? And so I believe with time, when people gonna understand that we are just normal human being and we are the same as everybody else, just a little bit camper, you know. We are exactly the same people and we're not hurting anybody.
I always say, like, I think everyone should have one drag queen as a friend, one gay friend, one trans friend, one lesbian friend. So you understand
A
everyone.
builder,
And you just say, okay, that's the norm.
But is that the norm?
Yeah. No, it is a norm, but, you know, not everyone has the privilege to have
very
LGBTQ plus friends.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's really cool because I think we teach people so much and we inspire people through our resilience and strength. And also we educate our friends, you know, when people have no idea, as you said, living out of the city, never been in interaction with trans person or drag queen or crossdresser or anyone like that, so they don't know what it is. And as you said, it's the unknown.
Yeah.
So they might laugh, they might judge you, but once they get to know you, they're just like, oh, they just want to be happy. It's just your expression.
And I know it sometimes seems a bit like we're doing so much, we're always fighting for our rights, but it's because you have no idea what we have to go through. And a lot of people, all these dramas for nothing's happening. It's because you don't live our lives. You don't know how it's like to go outside.
Deal with hate on a daily basis.
So for you, it doesn't exist. You know, when I went to the Polish TV and they were like, oh, hate doesn't exist. You don't know that because you're not in our skin, you know?
Exactly.
So, but yeah, I feel like once people get to know us, it's totally different.
Yeah.
You know.
Would you ever move back?
Would I ever move back? For a good cash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good answer.
Yeah, if I had a good, because the thing of Poland, and I'm sure you get the same thing in your country, you love going back and you love, like, I love my culture.
Yeah.
I love the food. I believe Polish kitchen, like Polish food is the best. Like we have everything and everything's fresh. The weather is amazing. Everywhere I go, it seems like everything's top quality. They're trying the best. The art is amazing. Like our drag scene is just expanding. It's getting amazing. So there's not a reason for me to not like it, but it's the people that had to live through so many dark times, and that's what made Polish people so grumpy, unfortunately, you know, always focusing on work, money, surviving. So there was never fun, and if somebody had fun, you just say go and have some go and find work, you know, where, you know,
like having fun was seen as made you feel guilty, or like having fun was like meant you feel like it's a bad thing to do. Yeah. Instead of like, oh, it's a good thing to do.
Yeah. And I've always been that person.
Hard work.
I've always been that person in my family that always had too much fun when you're gonna get a little bit serious. But you know, like we live once. Like just have fun. You never know what's gonna happen tomorrow. Yeah. You might as well do what makes you happy.
Amen. Amen. So, you were on RuPaul's Drag Race Season 5.
Was that?
So, RuPaul's Drag Race UK.
Who remembers that?
How was that? How was the experience for you?
I loved it so much, and everybody always expects a different answer from me. Everybody always wants me to say some negative about it, but I just honestly feel so blessed to be on such a big platform. And it doesn't matter if I went home first. I always say on the second episode. So I'm practically not a pork chop. I had the best time. I see why I went home. Not delusional. I see that I was very stressed. I had so much on my mind. I mean, being representative for Polish queer people it's
for the first time.
For the first time, it's a huge thing because people don't really know us. They only see us as homophobic country, and that's it, you know, like, and they see us as serious people. And so when I got there, all I was thinking about is just, you know, just to make sure I don't say anything stupid, I don't get into fight, which I could easily have done, but I just don't want to be that person that's from Poland and start fighting these bitches, you know what I mean? So I had the best time. I've learned a lot about myself, to not take everything so seriously. Even though I still kind of do, because I'm a professional.
Yeah.
Like, I can't see myself just going to a competition just like that. Some people do it well. I don't. So I don't regret that. I prepared a lot for it, and I did prepare a lot for this, and I wanted to be seen a certain way. But yeah, I feel like Polish people absolutely love that. I mean, I always go to the shows now. I sell out clubs. People are queuing up to see me. Even after 2 years, they're still getting excited when I go to Poland, you know?
Wow.
Even though every single time I go there, I'm like, oh my God, do you think somebody's going to come?
Yeah.
Like, people still want to see it. But like, I just finished my second solo tour.
Finish your second what?
My second solo tour.
Oh, solo tour. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, I just finished my second solo tour in Poland. And like packed, hundreds of people came in, and
that's amazing.
It was absolutely fabulous.
Are you the most famous Polish drag queen?
I would say so. Of course, I'm the most famous Polish drag queen. Like, what question is that? I mean, obviously, when it comes to drag in Poland, there has been drag queens working for years, you know. So obviously, I came to the scene, like, nobody knew who I was, and suddenly she became the most famous, you know. And sometimes I feel bad because I haven't done the work that the Polish queens done. You know what I mean? Just fighting through it.
I know what you mean.
And so sometimes I feel guilty about it.
Yeah.
But I'm embracing it. I'm not just sitting on the front and just saying, oh, I'm amazing. Nobody else is. I do appreciate everything that these queens done, and they're absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
So,
you know, and that's a beautiful thing. Like, I don't think you should feel guilty for not working too hard, not fighting too hard in Poland. But I think just because you had the platform on TV, on RuPaul's Drag Race, I feel like that platform gives you the privilege now, again, speak on the podcast here, or, you know, share your stories on your social media and be the voice for your country, even though you don't live there, but you can share your experience and your culture, and I feel like just that is enough.
Yeah.
So I feel like you don't have to feel guilty at all.
Yeah, no, I don't. I feel like I used to, but not anymore. It's not like I'm feeling guilty about it. I'm feeling happy that I can open many doors. And I think through my entry to the competition, so much has changed. I see in Poland. A lot of people deny it, but I can see a lot. Like, I feel like I started the whole trend of coming in and just doing a couple of gigs a weekend in Poland, where before it was crazy. I was like, you can't do that. You know, I came in and I had 2 shows in the evening and people were getting upset. Now everybody does that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or like having the opportunities to start drag. Like before Drag Race, I mean, it's been 2 years, but there has been at least less than 50 drag queens in Poland. Now there's hundreds of drag queens in Poland.
Wow.
So everybody they might not say that it might have changed, but you know, the inspiration is there, and I can see a lot of people putting more efforts to it. A lot of people wants to do better, you know. It's not just, obviously Polish drag is very political, but they just, you know.
I was gonna say that the Polish drag is very polished. She hates it. Yeah, political.
Yeah. So I feel like now people are, you know, just not taking care of themselves more, but like just putting more glam to it, you know.
That was my another question. How, because, you know, British drag is very famous, it's very big. Every big city has a gay bar or a drag show, you know. But in Poland, is it just like in Warsaw, or?
I would say in the biggest clubs, in the biggest cities, sure. It's crazy because I would travel to a random city and they would have a gay bar there, but some big cities don't have it. It's just people
hit and miss, kind of.
Yeah, you just never know, and people don't really party as much. They all sort of party together, if that makes sense, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's definitely few. There's definitely a few ones.
Yeah. What is your favorite place in Poland?
My favorite place in Poland. Like club wise, or where I like to chill, enjoy,
Yeah.
or
Where you like to chill, enjoy.
oh my god.
Like good drinks, like
I actually
architecture, good
I
energy.
absolutely love, because see, I'm like a nature, but I'm a foodie, you know, and
Mm-hmm.
all the way south to Poland, where the mountains are, this is where the best food comes from,
Mm-hmm.
in my opinion. Even though I'm from,
You bias.
somewhere else. No,
Right.
I'm
Okay.
I'm like by the border of Germany, like close to
Right.
Berlin.
Okay.
So no, I enjoy big portions, like American big portions. We
Mm-hmm.
have that, and the food is absolutely amazing, and the mountains are gorgeous. It's just the music, it's the culture. I love culture. Like traveling somewhere, not knowing the culture is just. It's just I can't imagine not so.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that part of Poland has a huge culture, and yeah, for sure. That.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I didn't even say where. It would have to be like Zakopane.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Zakopane.
yeah, Zakopane.
In the winter, it's so cold, so
Mm-hmm.
beautiful, and during the summer, which I haven't been yet, it's like green and warm and just so much flowers and just
Mm-hmm.
and the boys are quite yummy as well.
Nice. That's always good bonus.
Mhm.
So we went back from RuPaul's Drag Race back to Poland, but let's go back to RuPaul's Drag Race. Um, was there any expectations you had before you went to the competition?
Well, yeah, huge, because as I mentioned before, to be a first Polish queen, going there and just ignoring totally my heritages, where I come from, did not feel well. I was never involved with Poland or with culture as much as when I went to the show.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as I walked in, I was like, I have a mission to show people the culture. I always try to invite those Slavic looks into my wardrobe. Invite them in. Uh,
Come into my
Come
wardrobe. Slavic looks. Where are you?
and so I feel like I'm trying. It was my mission to introduce the Polish Slavic
Yeah.
heritages to,
Yeah.
to people, and show them that it's just so beautiful. I still believe that a lot of people from around the world get inspired by Slavic culture, but they just don't want to say it. The amount of times you've seen Beyonce copying some a smaller artist from around where we live is unbelievable. But we're the trendsetter, but we don't have the trendsetter.
We are trendsetter.
We're the trendsetters, but just because we're so small, we can't really,
Yeah, I know what you
claim
mean.
it.
Did you kind of regret the outfits that you didn't get the chance to show to the world? That you got, I assume that you have some
That I regret
different
the
rounds.
outfits.
You had some outfits, you get it already, and then you go home. Did you go first round or second round?
Second episode, yeah.
Yeah. So you go home and then you're like, I wanted to show you this
Yeah.
outfit. Like, I want to show you like there's
Yeah.
more than me than just this first
For
outfit.
sure.
Yeah.
For sure, my mission, because the thing with me, I'm still kind of looking for my style. I don't think I found it yet.
Okay.
I mean, I love me latex, dark dominatrix look, but I enjoy being a little bit more cutesy, wearing pink, and I love just some weird big dresses, and I'm just very open with fashion. I just enjoy exploring myself. So this is what I wanted to do in my episodes.
Yeah.
In my season, every episode would have totally different hair, totally different style of drag. I wanted to present different stories on the runway, but I took it way too seriously, and our first episode was about who your drag is, like what do you do as a drag queen. So obviously I feel like I was the only person that actually took it so seriously, and I wanted to coordinate.
Coordinate?
Coordinate. Yeah.
Yeah.
Color
Coordinate.
everything. So that's why I went with the latex and leather.
Yeah.
Everything looked like it was from the same fashion show.
Yeah.
But
I remember when Michelle Visage and RuPaul comments something like the pierogi or something.
yeah. Oh my god, that was
Because
so
you were
crazy.
like Slavic meets dominatrix, right? Like you had like a PVC boots.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
they were like, they asked me who's my character, and I said, well, I was always this imaginary character from the childhood, and I was just dressed up in this BDSM outfit. And they were like, okay, but I was just like, because see, it was written down for me. I wanted to say that,
Yeah.
but it just came across weird, and I wanted to represent that type of drag in my first episode, but that's not necessarily all I had, but my second episode was a bit different.
Yeah. Is it mentally challenging?
Uh, yes, but I grew up with it. I started training ballet since I was 4 with like the toughest teachers from Russia, and I was always in a lot of pressure. I was always traveling. I was always doing the hardest stuff. So I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed having a lot on my plate
Yeah.
and just working. You know, we were on the set for 12 hours a day, sleeping maybe 4 hours a day, and
Wow.
before that, I was and I love the preparation of it, and it was mentally challenging, but I kind of enjoyed that.
Yeah, as you said that you had a Russian teacher, I feel like the strong work ethics really prepare you for shows like this.
For
Because,
sure.
you know, it teaches you how to be reliable, how to show up on time, how to, you know, keep your word, how to prepare whether it's choreography or your outfit or anything. I
Yeah.
think it's super important that you have this work ethics because it makes you professional.
Yeah,
And
for
it
sure.
really shows other people what being professional really means.
And but also it is there is a dark side to it. Like I said, I take everything way too seriously, and when you go to a TV show like this, especially when RuPaul is there just to have fun, he doesn't want to see that. He wants to see you have fun, and so it's just what was in real. But I feel like my professionalism and everything that I brought to the competition
Yeah.
show up in a real life, because after the show I was one of the most booked queens in my season, you know, if not from the whole franchise. I was doing
Wow.
a lot of stuff, you know, so I believe that that showed up in real life. But real life and TV are very different things.
Yeah.
You know?
And I also feel like it's a great example that even if you don't win, you can still get bookings.
For sure.
And you can
Yeah.
still get more work in the future.
Yeah.
That being number 1 or top 3 on the show
Yeah.
doesn't mean anything.
No, absolutely not.
As long as you got the drive, the stamina.
We've seen that in the past. No shade, no tea, but a lot of people think they just get to the top 3 and everything is going to be presented to them, where that's not the case. Maybe yes, if you have an amazing manager, which we don't have many in the UK or in the world. Yes, things will get presented to you because people are chasing to get you jobs. But when you get out there and you don't have a manager, you don't have anybody, a lot of people get kind of what's it called? As I said, expect everything to come to them.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work like this. The doors are open for you, but the rest of the work is either you do or your manager do it. So like companies suddenly not gonna start contacting you unless you're just like very popular girl, you know. But nowadays with drag it's very different because there's just so much drag queens, just companies that have their trusties, you know. But yeah, that's what I did. I came out with the show and I was like, everything just is in my hands now, and I use it, like I squeeze it like a motherfucker, honestly. Like I squeezed that lemon juice. There was not even green leaf left on that. And obviously I've done a lot, but I feel like I could have done much more. But again, it wasn't written in my cards, so
Yeah.
I believe it's just the beginning for me.
Amazing. I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so. I can't wait to see you shine.
Yeah. Also, I'm not shining now.
Brighter. Brighter. On Patreon, we're going to discuss some gossips from RuPaul's Drag Race, and I'm going to ask you how was RuPaul in person. But before that, does RuPaul Drag Race have any dark side?
I think it's not the competition itself. I think people sometimes can become dark. Everybody
The contestants?
contestant,
Okay.
yeah. I think everybody, the show just gives you platform. Whatever you do with it, it's, as I said, it's up to you. And a lot of people get thirsty for fame, and I get it because it's hard to get stuff. And so maybe I think sometimes, like, I'm not a drama kind of girl, but it's just unnecessary canceling people or like unnecessary just talking about others, gossiping. I'm not none of that, or just like putting people down. I just think that's just cheap and dark for me, you know. And I think it always comes back to you, no matter how confident you are as a drag queen. If you're out there and you're messing with people how they feel, or judging somebody and just like say it out loud and just being nasty because you're being a bitch, it's gonna come back to you. You know what I mean? And we've seen that in many occasions where queens that just mind their business are the most successful. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't attract any drama.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They just want to focus on themselves. They don't want to attract or talk about or just be involved in anything that's negative.
Yeah. So you were on RuPaul's Drag Race UK. What would you say is the biggest difference between RuPaul's Drag Race US and UK?
I think humor and I wouldn't say professionalism, but I feel like in UK everything is just like, let's see what happens, you know, like it's just very relaxed, very chilled. It's very like there's a lot of humor to it. Everything is just very it's all, most of it is very like street talk, you know, just being silly and relatable to the audience. Where US, I feel like they're giving their fantasies, you know, they're trying to serve the goddesses that nobody is, you know, and realistic expectations. Everything is just over the top, expensive, and people take it so seriously that, you know, they dedicate their entire life to it. I'm not saying people here don't, but you can see it with fashion, for example, you know, like the fashion is very different.
They take a loan.
Yeah. And people enjoy people enjoy the different types of shows here. They like to come in here and just listen to people sing or just talk jokes, you know, say jokes. Where in the US, it's all about serving looks, you know. I don't know. I'm neither.
Well, you're serving looks for sure. And also, I want to say that Alexis, when, you know, I know you for 8 years now, almost 9 years, you are a true performer. I just want to say,
thank you.
yeah, you're a true performer. The way you move, it's like you were born to be on a stage. And not many drag queens can do what you do in terms of choreography, the energy. You know, you go 100%. Like every single move you do is 100%. And I think you're an amazing performer.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
I just want to
you.
say that because I really think you're amazing. I saw you at your show Slav for You, which is a Slavic show.
Yeah. We did a Slavic. It was like
Slavic night.
Slavic night
at the Clapham Grand.
Yeah.
And that was a night of 3 Polish drag queens, and you wanted to bring Polish culture to London and show people.
Yeah. Well, we are a group of just Polish queens mostly, and we just want to spread the culture with everybody else, or people that are sometimes missing the culture from the country. You know, they know they can come into the show and enjoy the Polish songs, Polish talks, you know, Polish comedy, and that's what we did in Clapham Grand. And Clapham Grand, we were so lucky because obviously it was COVID, so people were sitting down, so we didn't have to sell hundreds of thousands of tickets.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hundreds of thousands, dream big.
So it was a very amazing opportunity. And as soon as I knew that I was going to be in the Clapham Ground, I was like, I'm just gonna do the most out of the most. I mean, I was swinging on a fucking hoop.
Yeah.
That was just, and that I've learned.
That was my highlight, I think, of the show, when you were like in the air. That was so good. And then you sang some sexy Polish song or something like that.
I sang?
No, like lip sync. You
Oh, yeah,
lip synced. I think it was a Polish song. I'm not sure if the lyrics were sexy, but you were like really like the dominatrix.
Yeah.
On the Alexis Saint Pete alter ego.
Yeah.
I think was it whip? Did you have something like a whip, or was it like just?
Wait, which show was it? Was it the first or second one?
Clapham Grand first.
Okay, so I think
and it was like sexy.
I think I did
Polish.
like a dancing, like a. Well, I think the first one was I was like dancing. It was like a motorbike with 2 dancers.
Yeah, I think so.
And
yeah.
the second one was, but it was like fast.
I think it was the motorbike.
And then and the first one was was more like a ballad, not a ballad, but very like a PT, like dark pop, you know, on the hoop. So
yeah, it was amazing. Regardless, okay, Alexis, what's next for you?
Oh my god, I just never know. I honestly never, like, that's it's annoying, and that's the exciting part about it, that I just don't know what I'm gonna be doing next month. Because when an offer comes in, it's like, hi, can you do this in 2 weeks, 3 weeks? And I'm like, okay, great. Like, I had a period where I was moving out of London, and then I was touring in Poland, coming back from Poland to home, and just being booked to go to Switzerland to fly in a parachute in drag.
Wow.
And then I had to go to Berlin, and then we went to Amsterdam. And so you just never know.
Sounds like a fun life, though.
It's stressful. You can't plan for long. All you plan is just for the next month, always. You
Just
know,
all spontaneous chaos.
Yeah, all spontaneous chaos.
Spontaneous chaos.
Exactly.
Her new book, Spontaneous Chaos, coming out soon. I think you should be really proud of yourself. You know, if little Peter saw you right now,
he wouldn't believe what I would be doing.
No.
Like, you going out like this? But again, it's by being brought up, you know. Like my mom, it took my mom many years to accept things, you know. But again, being uneducated, now she loves it. She tells me what hair I should wear, what hair I should definitely not wear.
That's nice. But I also feel like, you know, you live in your life, like you have all the amazing bookings, as you said, you know, traveling Europe. It's so amazing. I think that we often forget how far we've come as, you know, as performers, because, you know, I'm a performer too. So, you know, I always wanted to perform when I was a little boy, 4-year-old boy. And I look where we are right now, and I feel like we should
at the same
really...
place, in the same city, in the same flat.
We should be so proud of ourselves. I think it's an amazing achievement to live our authentic self and be courageous and brave and
never giving up.
Creativity.
Never giving up. It's always moving forward. Sometimes when it's a little bit quieter for yourself, sometimes when you might not be doing something, I realize how I get not depressed, but put down when I see a lot of people doing some stuff. You know what I mean?
And
I'm like, oh, I'm not doing anything. But you have to remember what you've done, where you come from, how many things you have achieved. You know?
Yeah. And remember, it's not always busy and booked, right?
Yeah.
It can be quiet times.
And it's also important to embrace these free times, you know? If like, just feel like if you're not booked or if you're not doing anything, just embrace life, because it's all about enjoying where you are at the moment. You know?
Enjoying the journey.
Yeah.
Because everything can be gone tomorrow, right?
Exactly.
Nothing is temporary.
Exactly.
And I think you might know, because I think you have really good experience with not being sure what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So you kind of are very familiar with uncertainty. I can never say the word uncertainty. And you're very familiar with that. As I said, the beautiful chaos. You don't know what's gonna happen, and I think you need to learn and make peace with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Last question before we go on Patreon is, what message would you have for people who are very ignorant towards drag culture?
It's a hard question. It's just because I think, as I said, people are ignorant and people are hatred towards it because they don't understand it. It's not in their life. So if somebody's going to hate me, I'm just going to ignore that person, just like let them hate, because there's nothing worse in your life than living with a hate in your heart and just hating somebody. So like, good luck with that, I would say, and find something positive in your life and focus on yourself, I would say. If you hate drag queens, okay, hate us, but just love yourself, because you don't seem like you're loving yourself by hating something. You know what I mean? Because if I don't like something, I'm not focusing on it, you know? I'm not putting my energy out there. And recently, I replied to that comment on TikTok when somebody said something that, they don't accept it. Something to do with acceptance, that they don't like my style, but they are, they'll still look at it, but they don't accept it. I think that, and
Accept what?
Drag.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I said, well, I'm going to give you an example, right? Let's say you love pop music, right? You hate rock. I wouldn't imagine myself to go to rock pages and be like, I absolutely fucking hate pop rock. I hate rock pop. I don't think that deserves a highlight. Everybody's different. We all love different things.
That's a good point.
I don't go I don't go to the pages and just decide to hate on other people's styles.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like,
I love that. I love that comparison.
yeah, it's just
Just people spreading hate, right?
yeah, it's just if you love something, you love that, and you'll be with this. But if you don't like something, just get the fuck out. Like, just search for yourself. I don't need to search for myself.
Yeah.
You searched for me. That's why you with me commenting it. You know. So I would just say, find Jesus.
Or Buddha, whatever you want. Is there like one thing you wish everyone knew about a drag community?
We are here to collect the coin, not destroy your life.
And on that note, we're going to say goodbye. That was good. Honestly, thank you. That's really good. You said it all. It explains everything. It's really amazing. Thank you so much, Alexis, for being on Trans Crash. Thank you so much for sharing your story with our listeners. And I can't wait to talk about more on Trans Crash exclusive on Patreon.
Oh my God. And if you're not subscribing to that, what the hell are you doing?
What are you doing?
This is where we're talking about spicy stuff. And this is where you support a trans person
on podcast.
Yeah. Like, if you're not supporting Pavi on there, like, I don't know what hell you're doing. You're a hater. You're a hater that watches the show.
Thank you. Sponsored by Alexis. Now, on Patreon, when Alexis going to share a little bit from like backstage gossips from RuPaul's Drag Race, and also we're going to find out how straight men react when Alexis is all dressed up in the midnight in Soho. It's gonna be spicy. It's gonna be fabulous. I can't wait to talk about it.
Hot.
And listen, whether you are stuck in traffic or you're in a rush, just relax and tune into Trans Crash. See you next Thursday.
Bye.
How is RuPaul in person?
I honestly thought RuPaul is going to...
Was there anyone you couldn't stand?
Was there anyone I couldn't stand? The older I am, the more introvert I am. When I'm in drag, I feel like I'm more confident, but when I'm out drag, I don't.
Is drag connected to your identity sexually in some way?
Oh my God. I attract the guys that are strictly into trans women, and like I only like females, so that's why. And or guys that are just like, oh yeah, I like a bit of feminine energy, you know.
You might feel, as you said, you might attract different kind of men, because those men who you might meet or have sex with or whatever, these men probably wouldn't be interested if they saw you as a pita, right?
For sure, yeah.
So it must be like very empowering for you.
We're always comparing ourselves to something, right? To somebody. So by living as a gay man, you always want to attract people and just put on sometimes the face. Not everybody is as confident.
That he likes you for who you are.
Yeah.
Even when he saw your show with his ex-wife.